Every day when we meet with new clients after a car wreck, one of the first questions that we ask is, did you take pictures of the car, the damage to the cars? Not just your car, every car involved. The reason we do that is, and everybody's heard this statement, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, that is true in the car wreck case scenario also. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And if there is substantial damage to either car, even if your car looks almost new and the car that hit you is totaled, well, the more pictures you have of the totaled car, the better, okay? Insurance companies will shove down your throat pictures of your car if it doesn't have a lot of damage, or pictures of the other car if it doesn't have a lot of damage. They will use it even before you file a claim. They'll send it to you or your lawyer and say, look, there's no damage to the car. How can you possibly be injured? The reason they use it as a weapon on the front side of the case is the same reason we use it on the back side of the case, and that is they tell 1,000 stories with the picture. You don't have to say anything if you show a picture of a crumpled car that looks like a ball of metal, right? You don't have to explain, oh, this was a bad accident and that you could have been killed and your injury, whatever injury you have is probably reasonable. You don't have to say a word to a jury or to a court or to an insurance company when you have pictures that are persuasive. It's always important to take pictures of both vehicles involved or all vehicles involved when you're at the scene. The other thing you need to be aware of is that sometimes non-vehicular damage is caused in a wreck. For instance, let's say that a car forces you off the road, or the car that hits you leaves the road after hitting you and then runs right through a telephone pole, or runs right over a fence that's on a nearby piece of property. Well, guess what? If you don't get pictures of the tracks that car made as it skid through the grass en route to the telephone pole or the fence, we're missing valuable evidence because it will show how fast that car was going at the time it left the road and that they couldn't stop in time before they hit a telephone pole or hit a fence. And then, of course, the damage to the fence and the damage to the telephone pole, whatever it is that they've damaged. That's important. So we would need pictures of that. Everybody has a smartphone these days, or nearly everybody does. I know you're thinking of getting to the hospital and thinking of doing this, that, and the other at the scene. And if you can't take pictures, if there's somebody there that can on your behalf, take as many pictures and video as possible at the scene so that we have a full document of what all is happening there. The other thing that's sometimes important is the position of the vehicles at the time of impact. If you can record the pictures of the vehicle at the time of impact. Sometimes there's a dispute as to who had the green light and who had the red light. If you can capture the sequence of the red and green lights, how many seconds between when they turn red and green, how long it stays on yellow before it turns red. Those kind of things that you can capture at the scene, which many times might be adjusted later, are invaluable to us when we're collecting evidence, especially if the other side is going to dispute who's at fault. Obviously, if there's damage to the inside of your vehicle from the impact, this may be something you don't think about, but if you're in a wreck, and let's say that your knee hits the dash, and your knee is hurt, and it made a divot or an indentation in the dash, under the dash, in the plastic or the fiberglass, whatever the dash is made of. Well, if we don't get pictures of that, again, we're not able to have the picture tell 1,000 words about your injury. But if you have a picture of a cracked dash from your knee that has an indentation of the size of your kneecap, we don't have to go into this discussion about how your knee was injured in the wreck. It's obvious how your knee was injured. The doctor that looks at your knee later and will, in the case, have to give an opinion that the knee injury is related to the wreck, takes one look at the picture of your kneecap impression into the dashboard and says, oh yeah, this is definitely how this was caused. I can see the kneecap indentation into the dashboard, and we know from the MRI or the x-ray the kneecap was fractured. So in my opinion, it was related to this wreck. If you don't capture those pictures at the scene, guess what? Your car is going to be sent off to the impound lot, not the impound lot, but the car parts lot within days of this happening. And they do that for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons they do that is they don't want you to go through it and get all this evidence. Capture the stuff at the scene if you can. If there's stuff broken in the car, take a picture of it. Sometimes people's seat back breaks or their headrest breaks. Really important to take pictures of that. It's hard to capture whether the seat back is broken or not, but if you can take the side profile of the seat, showing how it lays back now and it won't go forward, maybe with a video, that's helpful too. So, long and short of it is, pictures tell 1,000 words, and our pictures are worth 1,000 words, and they tell 1,000 stories in my opinion. So do as best you can at the scene and get as many pictures as you can, videos too if you can, and make sure you bring those with you when you come meet with us about your case. Thanks for tuning in. If you have other questions about car wrecks or evidence collection at car wrecks, you can find us on the web at zarzaurlaw.com, or you can call us at 855-HIRE-JOE. Thank you.